Hello and welcome back to another YouTube video. We're going to look at investment appraisal today. All I ask for is a subscribe, like and share with your friends, and as usual I just get to the point and give you what you need. So there's three methods to use for an investment decision, and the first one you need to know is the payback period. So this is the time it takes for a project to make enough money to pay back the initial investment. And to calculate it, you do the amount invested divided by the annual net cash flow. However, it's not always that simple. For example, we have an example here. So you might be given a table and some data, and what will happen is there won't be the exact same annual net cash flow each year. It will be changing. That's when it gets a bit harder. So as you can see, between the years 2 and 3, the cumulative net cash flow becomes positive, which suggests that that's the payback period. You know, they've made just enough money to cover their initial investment. Because if you see in the cumulative net cash flow column, it goes from minus 1,400 to 800, which means that it's occurred there. Now, all you do for this, you just divide the 1,400 by the 2,200. This is because at year 2 there's still £1,400 invested, so that's classed as amount invested, and you divide it by the annual net cash flow, which is then 2,200, and then you get 0.6, so it's 2.6 years. The best way to remember this is any negative amount, the last negative amount divided by the next year's positive. So the last negative amount is 1,400 divided by next year's positive, which is 2,200. That's the best way to remember it. If there's any questions or uncertainty about that, just let me know in the comment section and I'll help. Now, there are pros and cons of using the payback period. It's easy to calculate, and it's very good for products that go obsolete quickly and for firms operating in these industries. This helps businesses realize if they can get their investment back if the project does not bring any long-term returns. For example, a lot of technology and those type of industries would rely on something a lot like this. However, it ignores cash flow after the payback period. Therefore, it only tells you what projects will pay back the initial investment the quickest, and not one which will be more profitable. For example, a project may have a quick payback period, but the profits they earn in the long term is very small compared to one that has a longer payback period but makes a lot of profits in the long term. In addition, it ignores the time value of money, which I'm going to go into a bit more depth in the next slide, so don't worry about that. The next one, you have the average rate of return. This compares the net return of the original investment. So to find it, it's the average net return divided by investment times 100. So again, you're given probably a table, some data like this, and now what you do to find the net return is basically just the difference, So you add them all up and take away the initial investment. Then the average net return, all average means just divide by the number of years. You did this in GCSE maths. So you to get the net return, then the average is divided by 5 because there's 5 years. Then now we have the average net return. We can find out the whole formula, the average rate of return. We do this by the average net return divided by the investment times 100. Hopefully that makes sense. So, just quickly go over one more time. For project A, you found the net return, add it all up, take away 10, divide that by 5, you get the average net return, then divide that by the original investment, and same for project B. And again, there's pros and cons for using the AIR. So it's easy to calculate, and this time it takes into account all the cash flows for a project. Therefore, a firm can identify which project will be more profitable. However, it ignores the time value of money, which I was saying again in the last video. So this means that it does not take into account inflation. An estimate of how much profit a firm will make will not be accurate because inflation will reduce the buying power and make the money worth less. For example, £100 today will be able to buy more products compared to £100 maybe next year, just because the price of products have increased, So hopefully that makes sense. For all these slides, just remember what the definition is, the formulas and pros and cons, and then just maybe how to work it out. That's all you need for these slides. Anything you're unsure of, just let me know in the comments and I'll reply and try and explain it more better. And the last one is the discounted cash flows, and these consider the present value of returns. Now, before we start, just look in the top right. I want to go through this quickly. The net cash flow is multiplied by a discount factor, and a discount factor is dependent on the interest rates. High interest rates means higher discount factor, And a negative net present value means it's better to put money in a savings account rather than invest in it. And a positive net present value is good for going ahead with the project. Just take that into account, because now we're going to go into an example, as you can see here, and you'll have a better understanding. So, as you can see, year one, the net cash flow, I put 4 just to make it simple. You can think of thousands, millions, doesn't matter, just simple. 4, and discount factor 0.909. In the real exam, you'll be given the discount factor, so don't worry about trying to figure it out, etc. So first, you find the present value. So 4 times 0.909, and you do that for all of them to find your present value. You then add that up to get the total present value. Then your net present value at the end is just what you basically have left over, the profits, So your total present value, take away the original investment, the cost. So here I put 8 as the original investment. So you're left with 9.053. Now that's how much they would estimate to actually have after inflation. Now there's not really much positives and negatives from this. All you can really say, it takes into account the time value of money, and it's a bit hard to calculate. That's what you can really say. Again, NCF is net cash flow. If you don't know how to do that, it's just inflow, takeaway, outflow. But apart from that, that's all you need to know for this video, these 3 investment appraisal methods. All I ask for is subscribe and like and share with your friends. And as I say, I just get to the point and give you the information you need. Because it's a bit hard and there's anything you may be unsure of, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to explain more clearly.